I'm going to record this. All right. Welcome, everybody, to a Hong Kong version of the end of the day show. So we did just close out the day 3 hours ago. So we did. This is kind of a perfect time for a show to get going here. Just zooming in and looking at all my indicators. Kind of one of the things I want to go over is at this point right now, TA is kind of out of the window, right? I kind of want to throw TA out the window right now because I feel that that it's with what occurred with Tether and what's still going on with Tether right now. It does leave me in a position to where it is very, very difficult to do TA simply because we have fundamental analysis that's occurring with Tether. So I have my Tether chart pulled up right here. I am not going to do TA on Tether, okay? I'm not going to do TA on Tether. I know a lot of people have started to do it, but I'm not going to do TA on Tether. All right, the second I do TA on Tether, the second now that people are doing TA on Tether, it completely wipes out the fact that it used to be or was or still is a stable coin. Okay, so it's just not a stable coin, as soon as you start to use these fundamentals on it. Now, a few of the things that have been brought up to me are that a couple of the times that this has fallen out. This has kind of fallen out on a very, it's just fallen out on a timeline where we've had big pumps in the market, right? And, I kind of do agree with that a little bit. But this is the first time we've stayed down here, really. So we've actually stayed down this low. Getting these wicks out is one issue. You get the Tether FUD. But, I mean, we're actually staying down in this this area of Tether being just destroyed right now, right? So that's what's happening. Tether's just been destroyed. And, it's because of the Tether issue, it's hard to do TA because people are exiting. People are right now, they're pulling out of exchanges. Right now, people are they're dumping their Tether, they're moving to other stable coins. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now, and that is affecting the TA. And it also, so because of that, it affects the price action, right? So when you get these dumps, and man, I tell you what, I was probably, and I'm going to give myself a little bitty, and Rocket too, man. I'm going to give it to Rocket and a lot of the guys over here at Until 1 Mil. I'm really going to give it up to them for really understanding, and all of us really warning people over and over and over again that you got to watch out. When Tether crashes, we're going to get this pump, right? And it was kind of a combination. It wasn't just Tether. So you can't blame all of this pump on Tether. You cannot. You got to blame some of this on the Phoenix, the Phoenix banking issues, locking up the withdrawals, and then KuCoin shut down the USDT withdrawals, and then Coinbase shut down the USDT withdrawals. I mean, everybody, all those USDT exchanges were in panic mode. And all of a sudden, we've never had a maintenance, right? We've never had a maintenance on Tether. I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen a maintenance on Tether. And this is the very first time I've ever seen all these maintenance things on Tether. And guys, there was no freaking maintenance on Tether. They were just locking up the fact that they didn't want people, a mass exodus of Tether on all the platforms. I mean, that's what was happening. They couldn't keep up with the dumping of Tether on all the platforms. And we still see that Tether's clearly down. Tether's definitely down in the dumps right now, right? So, you're looking at a situation where it's really, really hard for us to actually do technical analysis on Bitcoin or any of the other coins right now, simply because of the FUD that's going on around all of these exchanges. And I know Phoenix just partnered with some new shady bank. And once again, there's no consumer confidence right now, I feel, in Phoenix and or in Tether or either one of us. And then, releasing these BS reports, it doesn't make me feel any better, right? So let's kind of get into the best of technical analysis that we can. And I'm stuck using my Phoenix chart, but I will switch over to a Coinbase chart, and we will do a little Coinbase TA also, okay? So I'd like to start with the fact that looking at this chart, it is completely full of shit, okay? This chart is full of shit. These numbers are not accurate. They do not reflect the true USD value of Bitcoin. And you can't just go and think you're going to come over here and buy Bitcoin and then take it over there. Like, you can't get Bitcoin off of these exchanges at a higher valuation. I know people are trying to figure that out. You go in, you buy a bunch of Bitcoin at Coinbase prices, and you jump over, you transfer over and try to get it at USDT prices. You're still stuck at the USDT value, and the valuation will balance. Like, we're $300 plus right now, I believe, in our valuation, which is absolutely insane. I mean, how we can be $300 plus on how we could be $300 plus or minus right now is absolutely ridiculous. So BTC on USDT is 67.53. On USD is 64.39 to 64.35, depending on the exchange you're on. We're still at a premium for USDT users. And just looking at this now, it will balance. We are going to get a balance here. It's going to happen. I'm waiting for a bunch of things to happen. I'm waiting for these exchanges to really figure this out, right? And if you go back and you kind of look at some of our go back into our group, and I'm gonna bring this up here. I just kind of want to go over some of the points that we had back up here. So I'm gonna pin section. All right, so I pinned this. Sorry. Listen, this is exactly what I had. I did a detailed kind of analysis on the exchanges and Tether and what I felt was happening. And sure enough, all this is playing out. All this is playing out, right? Everything I put here is completely playing out. And, and I feel that Tether is not as detrimental to us still as it could have been without PAX and TUSD. Without the new Gemini coin. And now that you see all the exchanges, a lot of exchanges are diversifying. You see faster than ever. I think, and then here's kind of my 3 things that I think will change crypto forever. Okay, so I think number one thing that's going to happen in 2019 is we're going to legitimize exchanges, and they're all going to have multiple fiat pairings. And when I talk fiat, I'm not talking USDT, PAX or anything else. I'm talking they're going to have to eventually go to, and the ones that are going to be trusted are going to be the ones that have actual fiat pairing. And I don't care if it's euro, the yen, or USD. They're all going to have to go to this. And these are the exchanges that are going to be a lot more reliable. Number 2, real working projects for the coins, actual tokens that do something like the new mod token. A lot of good hype on that token, a lot of good stuff going on that, and then BNB. And then the last one is really mass wallet adoption, right? And with a centralized integrated exchange platform built into it that allows for merchants to choose which tokens they wish to keep and which tokens they want to convert to fiat. So I'll go over this a little bit more in detail in another video when I get back to the States. But for 2019 crypto, this is what I see taking us on to the next bull run right here. These 3 things are what we're going to look for to take us to the moon next, or certain tokens to the moon, and some are just going to get left behind in the dust. I would like to warn everybody that's in ZRX to be careful, because ZRX is going to probably have the exact same thing that happened to it that happened with ETC. So just play that baby, play that baby safely, because remember what happened to ETC, everybody. When ETC finally did get launched onto Coinbase, it kind of has gone stagnant. So keep playing that, make a bunch of money on it, but just beware that it is going to be exactly the same scenario that played out with ETC. Okay. Yeah, there was $1,000 difference. Yeah, that was insane. I agree. Yeah, but just be really careful right now with ZRX. This is exactly gonna be like ETC played out, and you guys see the ETC did not moon just because it got onto Coinbase. It did not. It's actually stalled out, just like all the other tokens are. Looking at the TA on my Phoenix exchange, I'm still looking for a retrace down to the 786. This is really nice because I like this. I'd like to see this happen because I'd like to see this retrace come along this line right here. This and then I can go up the higher time frame. Right, I'd like to see this retrace come out on this area right here. Kind of, I get this corresponding across the top of these, the base of this whole section right here. Right, just kind of cuts across all these wicks, all the tops right there, comes on down. This is kind of, it's really tough for me to do TA everybody right now. But I would like to see this do a retrace down to here. Now, this is the only thing I can really see is we're playing in this zone, right? We got to break out of this high side. We got to break out of this low side, right? So you see, here's your low side retrace. This is pretty a solid fundamental line that we have here with this trend line, and it correlates with the 786. So I would like to see these retrace back to that area. This is just the first step. Now, for my TA, I'm just going to have to use, I'm going to have to go step by step right now. And now this does look like a big hanging man to me. This candle was not at the bottom of the trend. It was at the top. So here on my 12-hour candle, I would look at this as a hanging man candle, and I'm looking for a retrace down. This is all I got right here. Now, the volume. Let's go and take a look at our volume also. So we'll pull up our daily candle and our volume. Our volume is still, this is a little bit better than we've seen in the past, right? We've got a little bit more volume, but a lot of this volume is still people exiting Tether. So I still see a lot of this daily volume as people exiting Tether, exiting exchanges. A lot of people are moving off Phoenix. We see a lot of this inside of our, all the different groups that I'm in. A lot of people are still moving off of Tether. Now, this candle that we posted up here is a very bearish candle, and I'll go over and show you guys what I put in the members area before I got some beauty rest right now last night. So let me get down here. Jump to present. Sorry, guys, internet's a little slow. So this is kind of, I looked at this as a Harami cross pattern, right? I looked at this as a Harami cross or a inside bar candle that I was looking to play out right here on this daily time frame, and this still hadn't figured itself out at this point, right? You still hadn't figured out what exactly candle was going to play out at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead. This to me is a bearish candle right here. Okay, now can this thing get blown out by people still exiting exchanges and everything else is going on? Yes, I still feel that this candle can go either way, even though this is a beautiful bearish reversal candle that we have here. I mean, this wick, absolutely insane. I mean, look at this thing. Look at that wick. How do we fundamentally incorporate this wick into our exchange? And it's just, I mean, it's not like it's only on Phoenix. It's across the board on almost every single exchange that we got right here. Let's see what exchange we got right here. All right, here's Binance. No different. You've got this insane wick. Right now, do I look at this as bullish? No. This is, and I see a lot of TA people online, and they're saying, oh my God, they were all calling for the bull run. They were all calling for the bull run. They were all calling for the bottom is in. I actually think this is one of the worst things that could have happened to us right now. This is just not a healthy, this is not a correction. This is not a good correction. Like, to look for a pull out of this, I would have looked for, definitely not this, right? I mean, coming up, yes, if this would have been a bull run, we wouldn't have seen Tether collapse. We wouldn't have seen all the FUD that was around Bitfinex. We would have seen a more stable correction that would have occurred out here. This radical candle, and I'm not going to call it a correction, but this radical candlestick that we got here was merely people just dumping USDT to BTC. They were just getting out. People lost thousands and thousands, if not millions of dollars, were all lost on Tether. I mean, millions and millions of dollars were just lost right here on Tether. And that's a lot of people got snapped out in their short calls. A lot of people, just got really destroyed right here with this. Thank God we were prepared. Probably one of the only groups that was prepared in all of crypto for this to happen. And we had been, I can't tell you how many times you can go back into our members area and I am just yelling at everybody, over and over and over again. Every chart I had, every single chart I was posting up back here, everything we were talking about was watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, right? I mean, we were the only group with this. And I know I'm in like freaking 15 groups, right? I'm in like 15 damn groups. And I know exactly what everybody else is saying. And we were the only one warning everybody of the tether pump, right? Right? This is the only thing. We were the only ones, as you got back. You've been watching my videos, everybody. We've been warning every single person, watch out for this tether pump. This is exactly what was going to happen. And now I feel we just got to take a couple days, step back, and let this kind of play out, right? Because that's what's going to happen. We just need to let this baby play out over the next couple days. Technical analysis-wise, looking at this daily close, just absolute crap. And I'm going to see if I can bring up a second. What do I got here? Crap. I'm going to get a chart where I've got USDT to USD on it. So let me do this. Sorry, everybody. I'm just going to open up a brand new chart. That's not what I want. Sorry. Give me a second here. I should have had this prepared. I apologize. I'm going to use Bitstamp. Come on. Where's a Bitstamp? I want this to T. Sorry, hold on a second. I'll go to Binance. We'll use Binance. All right, here we go. All right, so now we've got a side-by-side comparison, right? This is real. This is really where the valuation of BTC is right now, right? So this is definitely the real-world valuation. Here we have Binance over here. All right, let's take a look at our volume candles. The volume is clearly dying out on the daily. All right, let's go down to the 12-hour. I want to run down to 4-hour real quick on both these. All right, so let's take this. So look at the Coinbase volume. Coinbase volume has been picking up, right? Which is crazy. While you've seen the Binance or USDT exchanges have been dying out. Look at this volume that's dying out here on the USDT exchanges. Look at how radically different these patterns are, right? I mean, this is 4 hour, this is 4 hour. I mean, God, you have to chart both of these completely different. This is just a freaking nightmare. I mean, what an absolute nightmare we have right here. This is just horrific. I mean, you can't even go into this and start to chart this. It's just so horrible. I mean, I look at this, and this is two completely different patterns that are playing out here. Both the volumes are different, right? Look at the volumes are different here. The patterns are different. Just an absolute TA nightmare that's playing out here for all of us. Now, we should have posted up a brand new 2-day candle, right? Here's our brand new 2-day candle. All right, and Actually, no, maybe a 3 days, a 3-day candle. Nope, nope. I haven't posted up a 2 or 3-day candle. Just nothing. Guys, I really can't get anything off of this. This doesn't, nothing here helps me. Right? Nothing. Just bearish. Bearish. This is a bearish candle formation. Volume is definitely, I mean, volume doesn't have any option but to go lower. I would like to just wait this out for another day and see how this volume candle posts up today. 12 hour. Coinbase volume really come up. Look at the Coinbase volume and the USD. Look at, so I feel that a lot of people are afraid on the USDT exchanges, right? And I think what's happening, the reason why I see this candle right here, you see this candle? This candle right here says that what's happening is people are taking money off of this exchange over here, off the USDT exchanges, and they're dumping it onto they're dumping it over here onto USD. So that's what this says to me. People are exiting USDT exchanges and they're putting their money over here on USD exchanges. So that's all this says to me. Just looking at these two charts. See, you see, look, there's nothing. This is all bearish volume. This is an exodus. This is money coming off of this exchange going on to USDT exchange. I bet if we looked at Gemini I bet if we looked at the Gemini chart would look the same way. Okay. So I do want to get rid of this. I don't want that. Let's look at, okay, so I'm just going to kind of, once again, I'm freaking stuck. All my damn charts are over here. All my bubble charts are on the worst exchanges ever. So at least I got Binance over here. So I'm on a Binance exchange. Like, here's what I'm looking at. I've been watching this. This is what I posted. This is the dump zone right here. You get over this is a bull break, right? This is my MACD bubble chart. We're going up into the historical rejection area. We're going up to touch a historical trend line. This whole blue area, and I'll stretch this out right here. Right, this blue area right here, and I'm going to fill this in a little bit. I just want to fill this in a little bit here. So this blue area right here, this blue area is the dump. This is the resistance area. So we're coming back up into this resistance area. This is where a lot of the dumps happen from all historically. You can just kind of go back historically and see where a lot of the larger dumps happen. We are starting to come up into this resistance area. I want to see what happens once we get up here. Once again, kind of fundamentals are out the window at this point. It's very difficult to do TA on this. I'm just telling everybody, just wait. TRX, our TRX, look, nothing changed on our TRX chart. Came up, hit the E, it's falling out. It's pretty simple. You're just going to wait for it to break this wedge now. Actually, I take that back. I would wait for it to break both wedges, and I still think that played out as an ABCDE right there. I am going to pull up another second trend line now, so you're going to have to kind of add a second trend line into here. On TRX, lock that in place. All right, pretty simple. Two separate targets right here to short. So I would add shorts breaking this trend line right here. First, I would look to be adding shorts to break this trend line. Pretty easy targets on Tron. Once you get through this trend line right here, I still think this is a very stable trend line, and you're kind of holding yourself there. Let's go. I'm gonna grab this. So I'd really like to see Tron break, what is that, 365, right? So I'd like to see Tron break 365 at the wedge line. So on the bear targets here, right, for me are 345 T1. So this would be my first one. This 236 line down here at the trend line, 230, 245-ish would be my bearish target one for this to fall out. That's if this breaks the trend line, right? If this breaks the trend line, and then target two is basically going to be the vamp fib down here at 331, T2, 331 vamp fib. All right. So upon breaking that first trend line, I would have my second target as the second trend line right down here. Now you're gonna, which would be your target one, right? So let's pull this up. All right. So that's kind of what I got for here. Now, if you hold this trend line, if you come down and hold this trend line right here, you're going to be looking for a bounce. You're going to be looking for a bounce here. But once again, I don't look. The problem is man, guys. I wish I could really tell you what's better, but I'm screwed right now. I mean, I can't. Here's my weekly volume. Look, our weekly volume is actually substantial because of this. But I mean, how much can you take into account all this volume that was buried in here because of the Tether issue? Our weighted moving average 2-strength indicator is actually folding over. Okay, completely rolling over. This is super important. Okay, so our historical volatility chart, right? So this is our historical volatility chart. Now, this chart right here, if we would have had a correction, and this was a true correction, right, we would have had a much more massive, pump out of this. If it would have been a true correction, I mean, look at this massive candle we had, right? And we only had this, it was a pretty substantial jump up right there, right? I mean, we had a pretty substantial jump, but it wasn't like we've seen with, a lot of these larger true corrections. When you make a true correction, you get a much larger pump and or dump. So look at this, just shows us this wasn't a trend correction. This didn't turn the trend into a different direction. It didn't say, okay, all of a sudden this is bullish, because the historical volatility index just told us that it's not. It just didn't make that type of a correction for us. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this in here, right? HV chart shows this was not a, okay, so this was not a trend correction. All right, that's what this chart is telling us right here. Okay, so let's go. We're going to take a look at our RSI chart. Here's our 12-hour RSI chart. Look at this. You've got this. Had this up here. Came up, pegged it perfect. Look, there was these are all work out to be rejection areas. Okay, so here's that rejection area. Sucks doing this from a laptop. All right, there's a rejection area right here. There it is right there. Started my trend line, marched across. Second rejection area right there. Third rejection area right there. And then look, we came up and we got rejected again by the RSI right here. Okay, so looking at this trend line of our RSI, this is now our third or fourth, I would call this our third rejection from that area. Now this little red area with this big wick out did barely miss this trend line, but we were rejected from this same trend line right here. So we've had this major rejection line on the RSI now here 4 times, right? 4 times, even with that crazy wicked pump. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Now our RSI is definitely into the bullish territory. You can't, there's nothing I can say. We're bullish. We're up into the bullish territory on our daily. So here's our daily RSI. Our daily RSI, we're clearly in bullish territory. Anything over 53 for me is bullish, and we're definitely over the bullish territory, right? And that's just kind of that's where we're at. There's nothing I can do. Trend lines are kind of out of the window here on RSI on the higher time frame on the daily. I still want to keep this over on my 12-hour. Still will keep working this on my 12-hour. I want to see how well. Now look, all these red trend lines. Let's just see if this can hold here. All right, just shit TA on my part right now. Just because I wish I could be a lot more help right now. I just can't. I mean, I'm just absolutely, I feel just so useless right now. I feel out of touch with the situation. I really do. Hold on a second. All right, so I'm going to bring up my ADX chart. So my ADX chart. So here's my ADX chart on my daily. All right, this is 2018. So we're all the way back here to December 2017 right here. Look at, we've never made it up this high since all the way back to December 2018. So our ADX chart has just gone absolutely it just took off. This thing mooned on us. The good, the bad, and the ugly is that the last time it got up this high, you had the true giant dump of 2017, right? This is where the true dump is. Every time you get up this high on this ADX chart, it will correct itself out, right? And, you got to be very, very careful. Like, here's where this chart, this last time we got up, this high, it corrected itself back down. These two lines, the blue and the orange, are drawn together like magnets. The farther they stretch apart, the more they want to snap back together. And they do this snap back together every single time, right? And this is like pulling a rubber band apart, right? Bullish and or bearish. You can see how when you pull this rubber band apart here, it snaps back and it snaps you bullish. Here, you see on the bearish, look, this is the bearish trades. They pull apart and then they snap back together. Okay, so this is what happens over and over and over again. And I'm just waiting now for this to now snap back bearish because it is so insanely oversold on the bullish side. Okay, so look here, this was this last run up, snapped down a little bit, pulled to the top, and then corrected itself. Same thing here. Look at the peak. There's the peak. Came down one more time, up, snapped down. Now, every time you get basically a double top here, and that's what I look for. I look for this double top, 1, 2, and then snap back together. 1, 2, or there might have been our 2, snap back together. So I'm looking for a double peak here on this to kind of give me that signal that this is going to really snap back together hard. All right. Looking at the ADX chart, though, this shows that we can possibly get one more push up. I don't know how much higher this push up will be. I can't see this going up and over this wick, but I do see this retracing down, then coming back up, and then giving us another fall down. Okay, so that's pretty much, once again, TA just out the damn window on freaking on this. Now, as we do come down and cross over, you're going to have two lines that are going to cross over here. You're going to come down here, you're going to cross over this histogram line first, and as we do cross over the histogram line, we will see a very a neutralish bullish reaction as we come down across. So I want to come down, I want to touch this histogram line. Once we touch the histogram line, I feel we'll get one more little push back up on top of the histogram line, and then we'll fall out. See, just like here, came down, touched the histogram, bounced off, ripped back down through it. Came down, touched the histogram, bounced up, ripped us back down through it. And I expect this something to play out very similar to that, where we're just going to make our way down to this histogram line. They'll come together, bounce off it, and then we'll rip through it. We're just going to have to see how the price action is affected with that. In the past, that's been more of a bullish price action thing. So you see this is bullish. These two touches are bullish, right? And this is kind of your two touches right here, and it was bullish. I do expect this to still have some bullish reaction here. as we move sideways. Now, a lot of that bullishness could be just people exiting exchanges, more Tether FUD, whatever happens. And I know a lot of bullish FUD is going on right now. I know a lot of people are looking at a bunch of bullish things that are happening. But as we as we move forward, I'm going to go ahead and let me just get this chart up here for everybody. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Damn it. Sorry, guys. So the bullish double top plays out on the top side. The first touch of the histo line. For the okay. All right, so the way this plays out is right here. So I'm just going to draw an arrow right here. Okay. Okay, now you can see that this just has to make these double peaks, right? So this makes a double peak right here. So it's never like done a double peak and then another peak and then another peak, you know, kind of before it died out. So it likes to come up here, do these peaks, come back down, still wants to test. So this wants to test. You want to see these two come together in here somewhere. And this is kind of what I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for this. Where are these going to come together in here? Right? What's going to happen? Is histo going to come up? Is the bear line going to come down to correct into this? This is what we're going to be watching for, right? And this is definitely a bullish kind of a pattern, though. This is a bullish pattern as this has happened right here. So, and let me. See, so there's that. Then this is the second peak. So there's your two peaks right there. You see how that was a bullish reaction. And then we'll go find this one right here. Sorry, it's harder doing this with the laptop. All right, so now something I do see right here, right, is I see that every time this happens, it's kind of getting a little bit smaller, right? At least here, I mean, this was very small. Then this is your last one right here. So here, you know, we don't want to also miss this little one that happened right here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom, let's zoom all the way into this baby. All right, so where did that thing happen? It happened right here. So this is the last time this happened right here. So let me get rid of this. Get rid of this. Move this over. Okay, where in the hell? All right, so you see this right here? All right, so you see this here, so here's where we're at right now, right? The price action is all the way down here. So I'm looking for these two lines to come together. This is our histogram line. This is our blue line, our bear line. So I'm looking for these two to make their first contact. So to me, this says this is going to retrace. So I would be looking for a retracement here before we did go back up, just like kind of like right in here. We made this little double top action right in here before this thing fell out. Okay, so here was your last time you did this. So you see here you came down, didn't quite touch the histo line, bounced off, and then it died all the way through it, right? So I'm looking for these two to make contact. And here last time, you know, you had a retracement. So you had your very first, your touch up here, right? There's your very first touch, right? See, here's your very first touch here. And then this did retrace just a little bit, and then it bounced up, right? So here your touch retraced, and then it bounced up for the last time. So I'm looking for these two to come together in this area somewhere here, right? So I'm looking for a little bit of a retracement, right? Looking for a retracement. And then I'm looking for some action up. And then I'm looking for another retracement. right? Something like that. So I feel this is kind of how this is going to play out here. Let me change these colors, these arrows. I'm just going to use these pink arrows here. Right. So I feel this is you're gonna get some kind of action like this in here. You know, now the levels, I'm not exactly sure where these levels can come out to, or going to play out to, but I do see a retracement that's going to come down. You know, this looks very familiar to the XRP chart that we've been playing out here, right? So I'm looking for, yeah, I mean, this is it. So one, I'm looking for, let's just go through this step by step. Blue indicator, retrace to histo, right? And then we'll do the price action, retrace. This is gone. Hold on a second. This needs to be adjusted. We're right on the 5-0. We're at the 618. Boy, look at how it's using that 618 right there. Look at how well it's using that 618. So this is what I would like to see, something like this. But this 618 is actually holding really well. If that 618 holds, I mean, I think we can get something like this right here. Come on. It'd be like this. There we go. Okay, if I were here, this is where we're at right now. God, I just see this retracing. Because I see this retracing where this line's going to come up here and touch this. 618's got to break on us. So I'm going to put, I still think number 2 is price action breaks the 0.618. 0.786. I don't even want to put price because you guys can just do this on any exchange. Then bounce. So I think you can do this on almost any exchange. Just do it with your just do it with the price action with your indicator, with your fib lines, because the fib lines, it will play out pretty close. They should play out pretty close to each other on both of these. I mean, I think this is like 65.50. So I think on our other exchanges, our targets are 65.50. So I think our targets are 65.50. I'm just gonna take that off. I'm not even gonna put that on there. Okay. So I see this line coming here, this line going here, right? Then this line going up a little bit more, like that. This bouncing off, like this, and then getting the breakthrough. Okay. Sorry, people, I'm doing my best. Could I chart? Yeah, I know I need to chart Coinbase. I know. Give me a second, guys. All right. Huobi is adding 4 new stable Coinbase pairings. Yep, dude. I'm telling you guys, I knew that was gonna happen. Yo, thanks, guys. Thank you, Darcy. I'm doing my best right now for everybody. All right, so here's kind of now the challenge that we have. So this is if we can just keep everything stable, right? This is if everything stays stable. The issue is if we see another dump of Tether, right? So I want to pull that up for everybody. Pull this chart up. I'm gonna leave this right here. All right. Here's our. Okay, so look at it. All right, so here's our very bullish break. Look at this. Couldn't break over our bullish break up there. Right. This is very bullish if this breaks this up here. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Okay, this is also our short trade line. So if this does come down here and penetrate this line, this is our short trade line right here. Okay, so we're just still in the middle here. All right, so give me 1 second. So I'm going to do one more thing for everybody before we get... Crap. Give me a second. I just want to look at this for 1 second. Sorry guys, I'm here. I'm just thinking. I just want to chop this damn wick off. So I think the exchanges need to issue a All right, so here's kind of my thoughts, right? And this is why T sucks right now. I don't like the fact that the Tether issue is unresolved, right? I feel like exchanges need to decide the future USDT on their exchanges because at this point it is toxic. And I feel that's with all stable coins. I feel all stable coins are toxic. I'm worried about there's going to be another mass exodus of USDT. So let's say just like right now, I mean, we saw that great, who's doing that? Someone just said, who's doing what other exchange is doing switching? Oh, there it is, Huobi. So you see Huobi is adding all this. Just listen, guys, I knew this was coming. I called this. No, I don't like the fact that stable coins are, I don't like stable coins, guys. I don't like it. I think, honestly, Georgia, fiat is the only way to go. Like, you got to go under an exchange that has true fiat. And this is the issue where I feel the USD. So there's such an imbalance right now between the exchanges, right? It's just not fair. So we're going to add this. So the issue is the exchanges, the regulated exchanges have an unfair advantage right now against unregulated because of the token listings, the leverage, and token listings, right? The regulated have fiat, right? And this is kind of where you got to pick your poison here, right? Or you guys got to pick your poison right here. Figure out what you're gonna, This is your biggest issue. This is their only advantage, right? Their only advantage that the regulated exchanges have is they have fiat, right? And if like Binance and all these other guys want to just lock themselves up in crypto, like crypto lore forever, the first thing they're going to do is they're just going to go ahead and they're going to put true fiat pairings, right? The first guys that come out and do true fiat pairings it's going to be the exchange that wins. I mean, and I feel it's even, for these unregulated ones. I don't know why the hell these unregulated exchanges aren't doing fiat pairings, right? And I'm telling you, that's the issue. These unregulated exchanges need to do true fiat pairings and get away from all these other pairings because they're very toxic to the space. Okay, so this kind of shoots my, because if we have, so we're going to put scenario 1 equals USD. Right? Scenario 1, so you get another USDT dump, right? Scenario 2 is right? So scenario 1 is we get a USDT pump again, right? Scenario 2 is we get a balancing in the USDT to USD BTC price action, and this will equal a dump on USDT exchanges that are all at a premium, right? Because the price action isn't fucking right here, people. The price is right here. This is where the price is, right? This is the true value right in here of where we are, right? This is it. This is where USDT prices is, right? This is, right? So, I mean, can you imagine an instant resettling? Boom, you're just going to drop 300 points. You're just going to fall out 300 points to down here. It is what would happen if there was a BT, just a quick like rebalancing of BTC right now. But in order for this to happen, you need Tether to balance out. The problem is everything is balanced in Tether, and they gotta freaking get out of this Tether bug and this Tether situation. And this Tether situation's got to figure itself out pretty damn quick, because it's just going to get worse and worse and worse, right? So I mean, I really wish my TA could be better. But I mean, I knew this was going to happen. I've been warning everybody this is going to happen. But now that it happened, I'm just as freaking confused as everybody. I mean, I'm as confused right now as to what, I mean, I know what needs to happen. Okay, I know what needs to happen, right? The problem is what needs to happen is going to make this absolutely more, this is going to make it worse, because more than better, because let me tell you, this is what needs to happen. Scenario 3 is scenario 3 is USDT exchanges dump USDT. Right? And that's scenario 3. Scenario 3 is the USDT exchanges dump USDT. Right? And I don't know what'll happen. And I truly think, I 100% think, and I think they really are dumping USDT to fiat, right? And I don't know how I can prove it. I can't prove this. But what I think is happening is I think they're dumping it. I think the exchanges are going to BTC, then to to fiat exchanges, then to bank accounts. right? I think this is what's happening. I really think they're taking money off the table. I think this is already happening. Right? I think they're slowly doing this. They're slowly doing this. They're slowly pulling their money off the table. And we saw that in the Phoenix wallets. Okay. So I think this is really what's going on right now in TA. I'll come back over here. I'm gonna pull this down. Chart them. I don't even know what freaking chart to leave up, guys. I really don't. Let me do a Coinbase chart. Okay, let me load up a Coinbase chart. Nope. Oh, here we go. Okay, I got it right here. This is Phoenix. All right, so let's do a Coinbase chart real quick. I'll just do a super fast Coinbase chart. Doesn't help me out any. All right, so I honestly, this is the only target I can come up with right now, guys. That's it. Hold on a second. Let me pull a. Okay, so just looking at the volume, right? Let's take a look at our 4-hour volume, right? Our 4-hour volume, we did build up right here. I still think a lot of this is people exiting the exchanges, right? That's all this is happening. Is people just exiting exchanges, dumping their money over here onto Coinbase, right? They're hiding their money into fiat, right? So I think a lot of people are hiding their money in fiat. Now we got this massive push up, this very bearish wick. Since then, we've kind of just had a flushing of the toilet of the volume. I mean, volume has just definitely been dying. Its volumes. I would like to come back. I would like to come back down here, and let's get back down here and test. Right into these areas. I mean, I think you got the 618 right here. You've got this the 786. I think it's going to come down here, test one more time into here. Now, if it comes down here and tests here, we can't see one more bounce. And what this would indicate is this somewhere in here, this ADX chart line is going to come up and it's going to touch into here. And then we're going to get a bounce off here. So I'm going to be looking for a bounce to happen somewhere in here. We're going to get a bounce in here. Where is that bounce? Well, we're going to come down, then we're going to get a bounce off here. I just am going to look for that bounce to happen. I don't know where that bounce is going to happen. So I would like to see a retrace with the volume, right? Because our volume is showing the volume is falling out. Okay, so let's go down to their 4-hour volume. Let's go down to 2-hour volume. I just want to take a peek at the 2-hour. Look, 2-hour volume just died, just completely has died out again. Other than just people dumping back over here into, from the FUD, I mean, which I think is happening. I think people are just dumping back over. I'd like to see this come down and test in this area one more time. All right, so the vamp is, listen, I can't tell you guys. All right, so the vamp is 70% bear, right? And I can't, I'm 30% bull, right? But I'll tell you what, I am 70% bull tether pump, right? I'm 70% bull tether pump. Does that make any sense at all, right? Does that make any sense at all? I am 70% a bull tether pump, okay? I don't know how I'm so confused right now. This is all I can say. I'm 70% bull tether pump. And another bull tether pump was we get some we get some one of these damn exchanges like, hey, this is my bull tether pump right here. This is my bull tether pump, and I gotta put this in here. My bull tether pump, and this would come from an announcement, right? By like, oh my God, could you guys imagine right now if Binance? Could you imagine if Binance? Right? Hold on a second. Can you imagine if Binance was like, hey, we added a TUSD or PAX pairing, right? I mean, this is that, like something like this, right? This is like Binance saying, hey, we added a TUSD or a Binance pairing, right? To me, this would trigger a USDT flush, and people would flush out Tether. This would flush out another couple $100 million of Tether, and you get a pump, because what had happened is people would go from USDT to BTC to PAX or to whatever other stable coin they're going to go to. So that's what would happen in this scenario right here, and that would cause a pump because of the exodus of right. That would cause a pump here. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to dump this into. That would cause an exodus of people on on USDT, people would just be like, I'm out, right? Peace, I'm out. So this is kind of the only chart I could put up here. I am bearish if things stay stable. I'm bearish if things stay stable. I'm bullish if there's another Tether FUD, right? Or a Phoenix FUD. Okay, and that's where I'm at. I just think these are my two options. A horrible place to trade. Horrible place to trade, right? And I know I've seen I watched a show the other day. I love Burb, and I watched Burb's show the other day, and he had it's like 3 bulls on there. He's got 3 perma bulls, and himself, he's the only guy who's got any, like plays it both ways. And I was like, oh my God, these guys, what they were saying is, I was just like, I couldn't. How do you have these guys on your show, Burb? I love you, Burb, but I mean, he's got 4 perma bulls on there and himself, and I don't see any of this. I mean, how can you be bullish on crypto when the bottom falls out on Tether, the #1 stable coin for the whole freaking space, right? This is our #1 stable coin for the whole space. And we've been warning people that the bottom was going to fall out. And then the bottom falls out, and these freaking guys are over here saying, oh, everything's great. I mean, this is before it fell out. Not one mention from any of these perma bulls about USDT and what could possibly happen. Not one mention. And these guys are over here saying we're going on a bull run. And I'm like, how? And then the bottom fell out. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are just killing me. How can you say we're going to go on a bull run when we can't even get a freaking stable coin to stay stable, right? We can't even get a stable coin to stay stable, right? I mean, yeah, but it's not going to trigger a bull run. It's not. If it crashes, yeah, we're going to pump, but it's so bad for the space, Darcy. We need stability for an alt season. We need stability. Yeah, we need stability. That's right. It's uncertainty. Uncertainty is bad. For a bull run, we need stability for a bull run. We need BTC to be stable. We can't have this erratic, right? So for a bull run, we need stability. It's that simple. All right, everybody. So listen, I got to get going. I want to say thank you all for being here with me. I really, really appreciate it. I will be on. I will do another show in about 10 to 12 hours. Okay. Yeah, no stable coin is stable. Yeah, listen, if you're an exchange, you need to have fiat pairing. It's that simple. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, Darcy, you're 100% right. A crash in USDT will pump BTC. You are correct on that point. But you see that, look, it didn't pump the other coins, right? Look at this. It didn't pump these other coins. It just didn't. I mean, I haven't looked at any other ones, but let's go ahead and let me see. Let's look at Neo, right? I mean, I haven't looked at these, right? Neo, nothing. This didn't help. Nothing helped here with Neo, right? I mean, you got the pump, but this is just bear action right here, right? Oh, let me get rid of this one. Let's do EOS, right? Here's EOS. Let's see what we got here. Nothing. Where's it at? You got the pump. You guys got the pump, but there's no follow through, right? There's no follow through here, and that's my issue. Is I just don't see the. We need BTC to be stable in order for us to take off to the next level, right? Let's pull up ETC. We'll do this last one. ETC. Come on, where is ETC at? Ethereum. Yeah, okay, an ETC coin. I don't know where my chart is. Let's do I'll pull up ETH. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up my other ETH volume chart. Yeah, same thing. I mean, we've fallen out. We still haven't recovered. I mean, I don't see this as, I don't see this as a big boon. I see we need stability, and that's all. It's the only thing I can think of. It's the only thing I can hope for. All right, where's my damn chart? There we go. So I'm just gonna leave this chart up here for everybody, okay? And yeah, I think the futures close at 6,100 though, don't they? Don't futures close at 6,100? I think futures are closing at 6,100, so I would be really careful. I mean, I see this as bearish unless we get a tether pump out of here. Just the volume sucks. All right, everybody, thank you guys so much. I will be on later on tonight for the Vampanals until 1 mil. I am out.